Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Afternoon.
Okay, it is 2 o'clock and I am sitting in for Jeremy Smith today. He is on the line, I can see, but he's traveling. So he has asked me to chair the meeting today. So with that, I will call the Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order at 2 p.m. Thank you for joining the Board Budget and Finance Committee meeting today, Wednesday, June 2, 2021. Before we begin with today's business, please ensure that you are in a quiet environment with no background noise. Please mute your devices until called upon by either the chair or the clerk to speak. And Joan, would you please read the special notice?
On March 4, 2020, Governor Newsom proclaimed a state of emergency in California as a result of the threat of COVID-19. Public gatherings are to be limited. Further, on March 18, 2020, Governor Newsom temporarily suspended the Brown Act requirements pertaining to telephonic conferencing of local government meetings and the requirement to have at least one physical location available to the public for purposes of attending the meeting. As such, RTA has opted to conduct the June 2nd, 2021 Budget and Finance Committee meeting via teleconference.
Very good, thank you. And for today's meeting, we will take a roll call. So Joan, would you please do that?
Jeremy Smith, City of Canyon Lake.
Here, thank you.
Ray S.J. Santos, City of Beaumont.
Present here.
Linda Molina, City of Calamasa.
Present.
Art Welch, County of Riverside, District 5. Linda Krupa, City of Hemet.
Present.
Timothy J. Sheridan, City of Lake Elsinore.
Here.
Ted Hoffman, City of Norco.
Here.
Bridget Moore, City of Wildemar.
Here.
And Michelle D'Armond, County of Riverside, District 3.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum. Members, please remember to mute your device.
Thank you, Joan. And would you please take attendance of the RTA staff?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Larry Rubio.
Here.
Charlie Ramirez.
Here.
Tom Franklin.
Here.
Laura Camacho.
Here.
Natalie Zaragoza. Here. Rick Majors.
Here.
Kristen Warsinski. Here. Rick Kazarowski.
Here.
Jim Neepkins.
Here.
Melissa Blankenship.
Here.
Stephanie Searles.
Here.
Robert Fernandez.
Here.
Albert Jimenez.
Here.
Yesenia Felix.
Just stepped out.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Next on the agenda is, on the right page here, is item 3, public comments for non-agenda items. Joan, please read the directions for the public comments.
Members of the public may address the board regarding any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. However, no action may be taken on off-agenda items unless authorized by law. Comments shall be limited to matters not listed on the agenda. Members of the public may comment on any matter listed on the agenda at the time that the board considers that matter. Each person's presentation is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Thank you. And Joan, have you received any requests in writing?
No, Chair Krupa, I have not.
Okay. Is there anyone on the line that would like to make a comment on items not listed on the agenda? Hearing none, the public comment portion for items not listed on the agenda is now closed. Item number 4 is the approval of the minutes of the May 5th, 2021 Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the minutes? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, Canyon Lake.
And is there a second?
Wildemar seconds.
So we have a motion by Canyon Lake and a second by Wildemar. Are there any noes? Any abstentions? That passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 5 is the cash flow projections, and Charlie Ramirez will present that. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Chair Krupa, members of the committee. My name is Charlie Ramirez, Chief Financial Officer for the agency. You have before you on page 8 the agency's actual cash performance through May, followed by a projection of weekly cash activity through July of this year. This is a period that covers the remainder of fiscal year 2021 and the beginnings of fiscal year 2022. I am happy to report there are no anticipated cash flow issues expected during this reporting period. And that completes my presentation.
Very good, Charlie. Are there any questions or comments by board members? Any questions from anyone from the public? Hearing none, that item is received and filed. Thank you again, Charlie. And it looks like you're up next on item number 6, the quarterly capital status report. Go ahead. You're muted, Charlie.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair Krupa. It's hard to believe another 3 months have gone by, but it is yet a time for me to provide another quarterly capital status update. Keep in mind when we say capital, we're really talking about large improvement projects, significant acquisitions, replacements, things that really fall outside the purview of everyday bus operations. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what we've accomplished over the last quarter, as well as a look ahead to the next 3 months. In terms of board authorizations and approvals in the March to May timeframe, the board did authorize agreements with the city of Riverside for both the Canyon Crest project and the purchase of additional land on Vine Street. The Canyon Crest project will provide an update, refresh, and additional amenities to bus stops near a significant source of RTA ridership, which is of course the University of California at Riverside. And the purchase of the well site on Vine Street clears the way to commence construction on what will be a very significant mobility hub to this agency's future service delivery plan. The board also authorized an award to Clever Devices to implement a speed limit module on all fixed route vehicles. This was a significant safety enhancement, or will be. It will alert the drivers and our dispatchers when a bus is traveling above a predetermined threshold, above and beyond the posted speed limit for that area. So very significant in terms of safety. And of course, last week, the board did approve the FY22 capital budget. In addition to significant line items in that budget that we'll talk a bit about in a second, it's important to remember that when we embark upon any capital project or we provide updates such as this one, it all traces back to a board-approved capital budget. So that document really is a significant document and provides the blueprint for our success. In terms of the outlook for the summer, we will seek board authorization to award a new mobile ticket contract. It's been a couple of years since our last contract. We all know how fast technology moves. We do believe as we come out of COVID that the appetite for alternative and contactless payment solutions will only grow. We will also seek board authorization to replace the epoxy floors in the Riverside and maintenance and Hemet maintenance buildings. While this may not sound like a glamorous project, I assure you it's very important. Replacing the epoxy floor is not only necessary for safety, but continues to ensure a clean and presentable work environment. We will also seek board authorization to purchase 25 new bus shelters. When you serve an area as vast and complex and diverse as the one we serve, replacing and refurbishing bus shelters is really an ongoing endeavor. And we will seek board authorization to replace the network video recorder or NVR system on the directly operated fleet. Again, in terms of safety, this is our surveillance video system on board the Gilligs, which allows us to have a bird's eye view of what goes on there. In terms of vehicles, if you remember our contracted fleet, both these smaller fixed route buses and dial-a-ride vans, we did get an infusion of new vehicles over the last year or two. So we're in good shape there. Really what it's about in the interim is our own directly operated 40-foot fleet and bridging the gap between compressed natural gas and our move over to hydrogen over the next few years. So with that said, the accomplishments, really the board approved capital budget did secure the funds to fully fund the purchase of the 70 new 40-foot buses. This was called out and the board approved a zero emission bus rollout plan and is significant. Really will allow the technology to be extended in terms of compressed natural gas, allowing those hydrogen markets to mature and to see some of those costs come down before we jump in. It also put money aside to fully fund the purchase of new fare boxes. It's been many years, and in most cases 20 years since we replaced these fare boxes. Sort of in line with the mobile ticketing piece, we want to ensure that we have contactless and up-to-date technology that we really feel will improve on-time performance and the customer experience. With those things in mind, the outlook for the summer is to release the RFP for the bus purchase and begin that procurement in earnest, and to begin to develop a scope of work and outline our desires for a next generation fare box. Jumping over to the transit and operations facility accomplishments last spring, we did complete the installation of 16 brand new bus shelters throughout the region. We did install new electric sub-panel and receptacles in the Riverside server room. Again, this is important to ensure the continuity of power as it flows into the server room and to protect IT assets. We did have a major water line leak adjacent to the bus wash here in Riverside. That leak was detected, repaired, and the concrete repairs were made. It's hard to tell now, but about a month ago, there was a giant hole right there. So great job by our facilities team. We did install a new pump in the Riverside maintenance inspection pit. You can visualize a pit underground where our mechanics view and inspect buses. There is no proper drainage in that pit because it is underground, so it does require a pump. So that's what that's all about. In the outlook for the summer, we do plan to install 3 new bus shelters and refurbish 16 existing shelters. Refurbishment different than replacing. That really entails removing the shelter, sanding it, blasting it, cleaning paint, and reinstalling it. We do want to replace the solar batteries to ensure the lights continue to work properly at the Moreno Valley Mall. And we will replace some asphalt with concrete. We noticed that our tires out there were causing some issues with the asphalt. So we do want a hardier solution there. We will take delivery of a narrow electric forklift. The parts room is sort of tight, so this will allow it to maneuver in and out of that room. And we do plan to replace 9 HVAC units in Riverside to ensure proper climate control and to maintain those assets in a state of good repair. Jumping over to information technology accomplishments in the spring, we did complete the Blade and network server upgrades. Again, a Blade server is a more modular, compact version of a server. We did issue RFPs and receive proposals for the replacement of the web proxy firewall, firewall being the key word to protect our network from incoming threats, and as mentioned, to replace the NVR system on the directly operated fleet. As we look ahead to the summer, we will issue an RFP for the replacement of the wireless network. It's been about 5 years since that's been replaced. In addition to new technology and faster speeds, we do want to deploy some new access points since our buses do go to further parts of the yard, and this will allow for faster download times. We do want to replace uninterruptible power supplies, again, going back to the continuity of power and the IT assets. We do want to upgrade the virtual clever device servers. One of the key features of this upgrade will be to improve the real-time reporting to our customers down from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. And lastly, something that was prompted by COVID, but we generally think is a great idea overall, a crowding feature that will alert our riders as to the capacity on oncoming and arriving buses. And that completes my presentation. Sure.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Any questions or comments from committee members?
There's a lot of projects going on. Thank you, Charlie.
Yes, yes. Staying busy in spite of COVID. Okay, are there any questions from anyone from the public or any comments?
Yes, this is Keith White. Hi, how you guys doing?
Hi, Keith. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I heard with the new buses. It seems a lot of people are way in the back of the bus. I don't know. You guys can be able to install an extra camera. When I sit in a regular seat, because I kind of keep my eyes on the back to make sure I wear masks and stuff. They're still. They try to get the mask off. The bus drivers have a hard time seeing back there because I know they're trying to watch the road and all that. And is there any way you can put an extra camera there or something to try to keep his passengers from not eating on the bus and stuff? Because that's going on. I am reporting it, but that's one concern I have. And then with the bus benches, I have a couple concerns in certain areas, especially Hooper Valley. at the new bus bench you guys just put in the shelter at Limelight and Edawanda. We already got the homeless people sitting there already, laying on the ground. The people trying to catch 29 right there are having to stand away from the bus stop. They can't use the amenities. And that bus got put in. We're having issues with that stop already and with the bench in front of Valley City Hall. The homeless people are blocking the bus stop. We can't seem to sit there, or the people trying to take the bus. So I have some concerns where some of these shelters are going, because it's like the customers can't wear them. And that's my concern with those issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Charlie and Larry, did you get all of that?
I think I got it. Yeah, Keith, we'll do our best to try and keep passengers from eating on the buses and ensure they're wearing their masks. But the driver's first responsibility is the safe navigation of the bus. The cameras aren't something the driver can watch while she or he's driving, so they wouldn't aid the driver while they're moving. It would be something we see after the fact that we would look at that evening. We will increase our mobile security presence at Limonite and Edawanda. And I think, did you say in front of City Hall as well?
Yeah, in front of City Hall. It seems like you guys just installed that bus stop, and you also just recently installed a bus shelter in front of City Hall recently. Those right there in between that area, the homeless are hanging out. They're missing the bus stops. People can't even sit down and wait for their bus and stuff, because I talked to a couple passengers. Some of them going, I don't want the bus number because these homeless people see at the stop. I said, no, keep riding the bus. I'm going to let RTA know, so, but yeah, Hoover Valley, I understand they have a hard problem in that area, but the bus stops and bus benches are for us customers. And that's the reason why I sometimes go to Hoover Valley, because I have some stuff to do in Hoover Valley, but I'm just getting tired of it where I can't put my wheelchair. I'm having to wait till sit in the Jack Box parking lot and to see the bus coming, rush to the bus stop just so I can get on the bus. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. We'll get on it.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate your comments. If there aren't any more questions or comments, that item is received and filed. Item number 7 is authorization to award agreement number 21-020 to Tolar Manufacturing Company Incorporated for 25 bus stop shelters. Natalie Zaragoza will present the staff report. Natalie?
Good afternoon, Chair Krupa, members of the committee. My name is Natalie Zaragoza, and I'm the agency's Chief Procurement and Logistics Officer. In support of the agency's bus stop strategic policy, the agency buys its transit amenities in bulk and then stores them at its Hemet facility. We have been purchasing transit amenities for several years now using the bulk purchase method. By buying directly from the manufacturer, the agency is able to take advantage of volume pricing as offered directly from a manufacturer. When it comes to the actual installation of these amenities, they are used for replacing damaged shelters and also to upgrade existing shelters or stops. For the upgrade installations, we use the Public Works IFT process to award the project to qualified contractors. The services and materials needed for the different sites can vary due to the existing conditions at each site, but can include things like additional concrete work, curb cuts, and etc. On April 16, 2021, an IFB was issued, and then we received 2 bids that were submitted on May 14th. The specifics of those bids may be found on page 11 of today's agenda. After a thorough review of the low bidder submittal, staff recommends an award to Tolar Manufacturing as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. Sufficient funds for this award are included in the agency's board-approved capital budget. Again, the details of that can be found on page 11. Therefore, the action before you today is as follows. Approve and recommend this item to the full board of directors for their consideration as follows. Authorize staff to award agreement number 21-020 to Tolar Manufacturing Company to provide 25 bus stop shelters in the amount of $297,023.44. Chair, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Natalie. Are there any questions from committee members?
Chair, this is Ted Allman. I have a question.
Yes,
And
Ted.
do we know where these bus stops are going to be placed? Or are they just, you have spots for them already?
Thank you, Director, for that question. The ones for FY22, we are currently evaluating them. We don't know just yet. I can tell you last year we went and did stops in Riverside, Moreno Valley, Home Gardens, Hemet, Harupa Valley, Temecula, Murrieta, and Beaumont. So we'll see what happens this year.
Okay, so you haven't selected. This is just a bulk inventory to replace as we go. And what is the average lifespan of these bus stop shelters?
That is a good question, Director Hoffman.
Director Hoffman, Larry Rubio, I'd be happy to take that.
Okay.
If we maintain them properly, we can get 25 to 30 years out of them. They do go through refurbishment. Of course, a car accident can take them out prematurely, but we have a good grounds crew who's diligent in staying on top of them. Some of the shelters we've taken out recently are just taken out because they're very outdated and very worn and don't complement the cities that they sit in. And we're replacing them for those reasons as well. But they have an extended life. Okay, well, and that's good. And I figured that if they got destroyed by an accident, that would be one thing. And then they're all solar lighted shelters. So do we have to replace the solar lights very often, or the battery packs, or is I'm thinking that the solar lights and the battery packs don't last as long as the actual shelter itself. Is that the case? You're absolutely correct. And we're coming up on the cycles to determine the lifespan of those solar packs. They don't last as long as we'd like them to, and the batteries don't last as long as we like, but we can get several years worth of service out of them. And that's a lot cheaper than trying to hook up to the grid to power them. No, and I appreciate that. We tried it on a sign in our city, and it was doing well until the thieves decided to steal not only the solar panels, but also the battery packs. So, and I think I applaud you for going into this technology. It's still new and expanding, and I'm sure we're going to learn more and more about it as we go. But thank you for that information. I was just curious. And if we can, when you start installing them, if we can get kind of where they're going to be put, so we can let our constituents know if they're going to go in their areas, that'd be nice. We will do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Anyone else have any questions or comments on this item? Joan, have you received any requests to comment from the public on this?
No, Chair Krupa, I have not.
Okay, is there anyone on the line from the public that has a question on this item? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
District 5 moves approval.
Thank you, Art. And is there a second?
Norco will second.
Norco, I heard Norco first. Joan, did you get those two?
Yes, thank you, Chair Krupa.
All right. Are there any noes? Are there any abstentions? Hearing none, that motion does pass unanimously. Thank you, everyone. We will go on to item number 8, which is board member comments. And I will ask you each as we go along if you have any comments to make. And we'll start with Ray Santos. Ray, do you have any comments for the board?
Oh, comment. This is really amazing the way, they report all the finances and everything. And that's my background, and really, easy to understand and follow up on that. Other than that, I like to share also on the Beaumont side. We open our theater in there, and I know RTA. We have the Route 31 in there. I'm inviting the Hemet Linda Krupa to watch some movies in there, and your citizens in there. I know if you have the the treatments and everything, I know hopefully you're doing well and everything. So other than that, I'm inviting everybody use the Route 31 bus, and it stop right there on the Walmart in Beaumont. So you're invited, and let us know. We'll be around. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Linda.
Ray. You will find with the staff at RTA that even though we have some new department heads, all of the reports are so complete and so concise that for the years I've been on, I keep trying to find a question to ask or to catch somebody on something. And so far I haven't had any luck whatsoever in that. So we have excellent staff at RTA, but thank you, Ray, it's appreciated.
Thank you.
Linda Molina.
Actually, I don't have much to say, mainly because I'm suffering from allergies and I'm just like, it feels like I have a summer cold. But I'm always impressed with the staff and their reports, and the information is always great to receive. And I'm just happy to be a part of this organization. Thank you to all. I'm looking for Christmas. I'm already waiting for cooler weather.
You and me both. Thank you, Linda. Timothy Sheridan.
Hi, I have no comments this week or this month. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. Ted Hoffman.
Thank you, Lynn. No, I'm good. Thank you.
All righty. Bridget?
Yes, so June 15th, I know we're all waiting for June 15th to come back, and I want to remind everyone, we do want to do a hashtag RTA back on board challenge. So I still need to do it myself, but please get a little video or picture of you riding a bus, and so we can post it and encourage others to get back on board with RTA.
Very good, thank you. Jeremy, are you still with us?
I have nothing to report. Thank you so much for covering for me, Linda. I appreciate it.
You are welcome and travel safe. Michelle Diarmond.
Good afternoon. Thanks as always to RTA staff for a professionally run meeting. I concur entirely with what Ray and Linda said. So glad to be here. Andrea will be back at the next meeting. Her grandmother passed away, so she is at the funeral today for her. So good to see all of you though.
Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. Art, do you have anything to tell us?
I do. I apologize for getting on late. It's so cold here in Banning, my computer froze up, so we had to thaw it out. But I would like to echo the chair's comments about RTA. This has been one of the best experiences of my life, working with a good corporate group. And they are well managed. Thank all of you. The reports are very succinct and right on target. So thank you for a job well done.
Thank you. And Larry, do you have any announcements?
Madam Chair Krupa, yes, I do. As you know, this morning you were presented with this award. It's I don't know if you can see it, it's translucent. If I put my hand behind it, it might appear. But that's from the Western Riverside Council of Governments. That was presented to you this morning, Madam Chair. And it's for outstanding community service in Western Riverside County. And that was for Riverside Transit Agency's Meals on Wheels program. We served over 121,000 seniors and disabled people who live in Western Riverside County. We also preserved 14 jobs here at RTA by deploying people and pivoting into this service that we provided. What we don't know is how many restaurants that helped also keep open, because restaurants were providing a lot of those meals. So I think we had a hand in helping keep those restaurants and those employees working to a degree. So kudos to the board for supporting this, RCTC for funding it, and the RTA staff, primarily Audrey Gill. She was the brains behind and the might behind getting this through. It was not easy, but she persevered through it to make sure that it happened. So thank you, Chair Krupa, for all that you do for us, and immediate past Chair Moore. We wouldn't have this if you hadn't nominated us. And when that video is done, they filmed Chair Krupa out today in Hemet, our Division 2. We'll make sure that the board gets a copy of that. One last announcement, and it's with very mixed emotions, that we accepted resignation, actually a retirement notification from Rick Majors. He's going to move on to the next chapter of his life, our Director of Risk Management. He's been a stalwart here. He helped us through all of this pandemic. We're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. And I can't tell you how proud I was to work with Rick what an incredible human being. He worked day and night, and I mean that literally, because when we first started, we just received bits and pieces of guidance and protocols from CDC, from the state, from the Federal Transit Administration, DOT. Rick was one of several who worked around the clock. He'd fall asleep while he was working, and that would be at 1 or 2 in the morning, and then wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and keep going to ensure the safety of our employees and to be able to keep rolling these buses to serve essential workers throughout Western Riverside County. So his last day will be Friday. We won't be able to acknowledge him at the formal board meeting later this month, but I wanted to present him here today so that we could wish him well into his retirement and thank him for a job well done.
Thank you. And Rick, congratulations. We're losing people to retirement, but which is both good and bad. We just wish you the most success in your retirement, and don't forget about RTA. Ride that bus every so often and stay connected, but we do wish you all the best in your retirement, and thank you for your many years of service with RTA. And I will say that the filming for WRCOG this morning was entertaining. Jim Neepkins and another, and I'm blanking on her name. Sylvia was there, and we had competition with cars driving in and out, employees walking in and out, trash trucks, airplanes, just general noise, and but it was fun. Blazing hot on asphalt, but I think we got it done, and I will be really interested to see how it comes out. And the young man who was doing the filming seemed really enthralled with the bus. So he was taking close-up shots and walking around it and being inside, and it was entertaining, to say the least. So Jim, thank you for the talking bullet points that you provided for me, and for holding up the cue card so that I could get through the presentation. And again, Bridget, thank you so much for nominating RTA for this wonderful thing that they have done for what we all have done, but staff has done for Western Riverside County residents. And with that, our next meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee is scheduled for Wednesday, July 7th, 2021 at 2 p.m. And we will discuss going forward whether or not we can do meetings in person, or whether we stay virtual, or whether we do hybrids. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you a good afternoon, and we will see you all at the end of the month for our board meeting on the fourth Thursday. So in the meantime, take care, stay cool, and everybody enjoy. Bye-bye.